Hi there, gorgeous, and a very happy Frugal Friday to you. In today's video, I'm doing a full face of first impressions using a lot of new makeup that has recently been released in the drugstore for 2020. A lot of products from Maybelline here, so I'll show you everything in an up-close application. I've also conducted a 12-hour wear test that I'll share with you at the end of the video, and I'll let you know if any of these products are good or not. New makeup! I'm so excited when they come out with new makeup, especially when I can do it all in one grouping like this and then do a wear test. I don't know why, but I get the biggest thrill out of videos like this. So the first product I have to test out is from Maybelline. This is their Nudes of New York palette. Look at that, a lot of really beautiful neutral shades in there. On first glance, it looks like there are some warm tones and cool tones in here, so a good mixture to choose from. I think the first shade that I want to use is called Self Starter over here at the end of the palette. And I'll begin this look by blending this into the cool. What? I forgot what I was saying. That's so crazy pigmented. Wow, I didn't take that much on the brush. I was gonna say I'm going to blend this into the crease, but I think I'm going to put some of this over here on this eye too, because my gosh, I'm hoping that's not going to be too hard to blend. This is a lot darker than I had expected it to be, because in the pan, well, I guess not. I mean, I was going to say in the pan it looks like it's a little lighter, but yeah, it's dark. I'm going to blend it out with my blender, my Wet n Wild Brulee blender, to see how it blends in that respect also. Doesn't appear to be giving me any difficulties. Look at that. It's just diffusing rather nicely. See, that is what I like to see. Beautiful results. Even though I felt like I applied a little bit too much to start with, it was really easy to correct it. And to blur those edges a little bit more at the top of the crease, I'm going to go in with the shade Creator. Tap off the brush. You know I did not need that much pigment to begin with. And I'm going to softly apply this at the top of that crease point to blur the edges a little bit more. I'm taking this shade called Originator, which is a really bright white gold. And I'm going to apply this onto the lid. Look at that. It's nice to see when a color shows up the way that it's supposed to. And I'm going to take the shade Voyager at the bottom of the palette here, which is a little bit of a darker brown compared to that first one I used. And I'm applying that to the outer third of the lid. And voila! I love it! The pigment was excellent and love the look of the eyeshadows at the end. The next product I have to try is a new one from L'Oreal. This is their Matte Signature Eyeliner. Packaging is quite unique for being a drugstore eyeliner. I did say this was matte, so we will see, because I prefer a matte eyeliner any day over a more glossy formula. It's a very rich pigment when you apply it, and I've given it a few minutes to dry down, and it is fully matte, which is really nice to see. So we'll see how this wears throughout the day. The next product I have to test out is another one from Maybelline. This is their Brow Fast Sculpt, and I picked up the shade Soft Brown. Oh, okay. I wasn't really sure what to expect with this one, but it's a mascara-like kind of product that you brush through the brows. Add a pencil to this, but we'll see how this does all by itself. So well, it's really nice all by itself, but I am going to add a pencil just to fill in this area in the front here. And see, this Maybelline product is one that I could see being great for someone who already has full brows, but maybe they have some minor sparse areas that they want to fill in. But for someone like me that has no brows in certain areas of their eyebrows, you may need to combine it up with a pencil, but I mean, it's really pigmented and it goes on rather nicely. Lashes that I'm wearing today are from my lash line, Inky Minky Lashes. They are in the style Blessed, so if you're interested in them, I'll have them linked for you below. Moving on to the face. I have a number of different face products to try out here. I'm going to start with the foundation. This one is from Maybelline. It's their Dream Radiant Liquid, and it appears to be a hydrating foundation with hyaluronic acid in it, and this is in the shade Porcelain Ivory. 12 hours of continuous hydration visibly improves the look of skin. Radiant finish, so it doesn't appear to be a matte finish. This is probably going to be one of your more dewy foundations. Hoping it's a shade match, because you never can tell with Maybelline. We'll go ahead and blend it in on this side. Well, the coverage is really pretty with it. I can't recall what coverage level they said this was. Doesn't really say. It appears to be more medium coverage. I wouldn't say that it's full coverage so much, but it doesn't look cakey. You know, sometimes those fuller coverage foundations can look kind of like you're wearing something on your skin, but this one doesn't appear that way. And so there you can see what I mean. Beautiful coverage, and the color is a really good match, surprisingly, too. For the concealer, I picked up a new one from NYX, which I'm hoping is going to be really, really good. This is their Born to Glow concealer. Focus, focus. There you go. Oh, okay. It's a radiant concealer, so it's going to match our foundation today. Applicator looks like that. Very reminiscent of, I want to say a Maybelline concealer has that same kind of applicator. Woo, and that may be too much product. I'm actually going to use my finger to take some of the product off because I'm just afraid of applying too much of this. And you see, yeah, I'm going to start with a very small amount. You know me with the concealer. I didn't used to be that way, but I have learned over the years that you really don't need much. And some of these concealers have a lot of pigment to them. And if you apply more than what you really should, then they don't wear that well. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Ah, gosh, that is pretty. Yes, I am going to set the face, but before I do that, I am going to apply the next product, which is a cream-based product. Another one from Maybelline. This is their Cheek Heat in the shade what is the shade? Cora. Oh, might help if I read the English side. Coral Ember. I was about to read you the French side. So the way I'm going to apply this is take a small amount onto the back of my hand here. And I'm going to use a densely packed stippling brush. This is an old one from Makeup Geek. It's the angled stippling brush. And I'm going to dip that into the cream product. This is my favorite way to apply cream products. Everybody has their own way. You can also use your fingers, but I find I get a little better coverage and more even application with a brush like this. And I'm going to apply it onto the cheeks. Oh, it's very sheer here. I don't know if I'm getting color. A little bit. It has more of a liquid consistency. It's a very light texture. But the only thing I'm worried about is it lasting all day, because typically when you get products like this that are not that pigmented to begin with, they tend to fade. We'll see. Next product I have to try is a new one from Revlon. This is their Skin Lights Prismatic Bronzer. The shade that I have here is Sun-Kissed Beam. I'm only going to take a small amount of this and apply it right about there. Yeah. You see what it does? It's, it's not terrible once you blend it in a little bit more, but yeah, it's this pretty strong orange. You would think with the name Prismatic, you'd see a lot of shimmer, maybe some sparkle in here, but I'm not seeing that at all. It's almost going on matte, it looks like. But for the next product, I picked up the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift Waterproof Mascara. I did apply this onto my top lashes today before I applied my false lashes, but I really like to test mascaras on my lower lashes to see if they're going to flake or smudge or smear, and I feel like that's the best testing grounds for doing that. So go ahead and apply this. By the way, wand looks like that. Go ahead and apply this on my lower lashes. It does add pretty good length to the lower lashes. You can tell from this eye to this eye what it does exactly. Okay, well, we'll wear this all day. I'll come back and show you a check-in at the end and let you know how everything held up. So I wore that face for a total of 12 hours on the day that I tested it out. And this is why I like doing wear tests. You'll see exactly why. This is what my face looks like after that day. It was awful, completely awful. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. This is probably the most disappointing wear test I've done in a long while. The eyeshadow palette looked terrible. It creased, it muddied, and you can see very clearly in that up close look at it, it was just awful. I mean, normally I'm really happy with Maybelline palettes like this, but this one was just, didn't like it at all. The mascara held up really well. I didn't notice any flaking or crumbling underneath my eyes, so that was probably one of the good products out of the bunch. The concealer fell apart, cracked, creased. Terrible product. Once again, don't recommend that. The eyeliner from L'Oreal, which L'Oreal typically puts out really good eyeliners, but this one fell apart completely on the inner corners, disappeared. Don't recommend it at all. The Revlon Skin Lights bronzer held intact pretty well. I mean, that was probably the only product that looked really good with the exception of the mascara at the end of the day, so I really liked that. The brow product, after a while, it was good, but I didn't really care for the color. It's probably not one that I'm going to be using again myself, so that's going to be up to you as to whether or not you like it, because the quality was good. I just didn't care for the color. The cheek product faded, and I kind of figured that it would because it was so hard to get it to apply, and I feel like there are much better cream cheek products out there, so I wouldn't really recommend you try this one. If you're looking for a really good cream blush product, I would say look to Flower Beauty's line, and Physicians Formula has one that's like a cream elixir, I think that's what they call it, that is excellent and very similar to this one, but it does stay true all day long. The foundation, now this one was interesting because I liked it for what it is. It's a hydrating foundation. It's going to give your skin a luminous glow. For me, because I'm oily, it looked really greasy on me at the end of the day, but for someone who has dry skin, for someone who wants a luminous foundation, I do feel like it is an excellent one to try because even though I'm oily, it didn't slide off my face and it didn't move around. It just made me look really greasy. So that's up to you. It is a good formula and I would recommend checking it out. So if you're interested in any of the products I shared with you here today, I'll have all of them listed for you below. Let me know your thoughts if you've had the opportunity to try any of these out. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time to watch. I look forward to seeing you again next week, and I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend ahead.